Welcome to the Wealthy LaLa Show with myself, Laurie Larson. And today is Tasty Tuesday. So, one of the things that popped as I was getting ready to record the show is I really love to invite anyone who listens. Like, if you guys have a really cool recipe, a recipe that's a favorite, a recipe that relates to something that I have talked about, please, please, please send them my way. I'd absolutely love to receive them. My email for the show is thewealthylala, LALA, @gmail.com. So love to hear them. So, today I wanted to start off. So today I want to say Merry Christmas to those of you who may be listening on Christmas Day. December 25th, 2018. And this is my second show and my first Tasty Tuesday. And it actually made it really easy because with it being Christmas time right now, I am making different recipes for our family functions. And the one that I actually made today to take to our daughter's in-laws' place on Christmas Day is baked caramel corn. So I tell you, this is a really, really, really good recipe. Like, do you guys like baked caramel corn? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of tired of it after having made it all afternoon. So I'm not into it in this 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. And I don't know what the yawning is, people. Sometimes I do that when like energy's moving. So if that's kind of a weird subject for you, oh well, sorry. It's going to come up in my shows. But yeah, when I start moving energy in my body or I'm aware of energy, I will start to yawn. So no, I'm not bored. And no, I am not tired. So how does it get any better? So yeah, my caramel corn recipe, years ago, I'm not sure what years. It doesn't actually have a date on here, but I was a part of a magazine that a woman had started, and we all got to put in some recipes for it. And sorry guys, this particular one is baked caramel corn. I'd be really laughing right now if you guys at home are yawning. Because, isn't that kind of crazy? Like how we can be anywhere in the world or right beside someone and they yawn and then we yawn too. So it is kind of funny. There was a video, this Prince EA. I'm not really sure how you say the EA, EA or something. But I follow him on Facebook and he had this one really interesting video about how it just shows like how we're aware of other people's energy. And so, how we can be beside someone or across the world from them and they can yawn or we can yawn and it creates the other person yawning. And you know what? Just me talking about it is actually making me yawn even more. So, gosh. So I hope you guys are doing okay with it on your end. Anyway, so this magazine I had been a part of this, they had at Christmas time put all these, yummy recipes in, and one was the baked caramel corn. And it is actually really, really good. So 6 quarts of popcorn, which when I figured out 6 quarts, it's actually 24 cups. Yep. I made a double batch, so I doubled this. A cup of butter. So you pop the corn, heat your oven to 250, pop your corn, have it all measured out, and then in a pan, put 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of firmly packed brown sugar. And butter, like really? Is there a recipe that's bad with butter? I don't think so. Or with bacon. There's not bacon in this, but I haven't met a bacon yet that I didn't like. I know. I'm open to being proven wrong. So yeah, 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of firmly packed brown sugar, half a cup of corn syrup. Can be light or dark, depends on your preference. Teaspoon of salt, And so you take those 4 ingredients, you boil them up, boil them for 5 minutes. Just be careful not to overheat it because it can burn. My second batch almost burnt today. It didn't, but it almost did. You know, it just kind of had that hint, but it was okay. Then after that has boiled or been at a boil, so whatever temperature on your stove keeps it at a boil. I turn it down a bit. You do it for 5 minutes. And then when you take it off, you put a half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and you stir that in. I use a nice small wire whisk. And then you take a big, turkey roaster is what I used. I like the ones that are metal. Throw in my popcorn. I throw in 2 cups of nuts. This recipe originally said 1 cup of nuts, but I like a little more nuts myself. So I made it a little nuttier and I put 2 cups in. So I threw in the nuts, the popcorn, and you pour the sauce over top, mix it up real good. And then you take the pan, you put it in the oven, and at 10-minute increments, you just take it out and stir it. So you do that for an hour. So I just mark on a list on a paper, and I do 6 times 10 minutes, and voila, take it out, pour it on like a cookie sheet, or let it sit in the pan. I had to pour it out because I made a double batch, and just let it sit till it cools down, and then bag her up, and it's good. It's good. I don't know, like for those people though that don't like sugar, because there's a lot of anti-sugar people right now. Yeah, you may not want to make this recipe, but if you do, it's really good. It's crunchy. It's got a lovely texture. So a couple of the other recipes, I'm not going to worry about giving them to you now. If I get really I'm not going to say ambitious or creative, but my target is on my website of the actual radio show or podcast here on the Wealthy LaLa show page. I do plan on attaching the recipes, and one of the things that I really noticed about cooking for me, I'm really grateful. I have a really good friend who, when I get a chance to see her, we often go out for lunch or something, or I've cooked her soup, like a Ukrainian soup called borscht, or I'll make a butternut squash soup, or make scones or something like that. And I just really, really, really have fun with cooking. I may not be one of those real fancy bakers, but I really put a lot of love and enjoyment into the process as I'm doing it. And yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there where I was going. So, oh wow, how does it get any better? So anyways, a couple of the other recipes that I've made or I'm going to be making for over the Christmas holidays here is a triple mousse cake. Triple mousse cake. It is in the Earl's cookbook. So if you guys are familiar with the Earl's restaurants, they actually have a cookbook that's out. And again, if I figure out how to do it, because I needed to get started with this podcast without having absolutely everything laid out and ready. So these are some of the things that I would like to do is, on the page, add in the recipes. I'd like to throw up a link for the Earl's cookbook if that's something that's fun for you. It was really, really neat. I got their cookbook, and what's interesting is that I actually have not been a fan when I've gone to their actual restaurants. Like, they've been okay. My hubby would say the same. I've even met a few friends that had the same, the same thought. But what was really interesting is the cookbook kept talking to me. Now, that's how I say it. When something keeps popping into your head, it just keeps popping and keeps popping, keeps popping. And like, when I have that up in my world, I know that there's something in it for me. Could be the answer to a question. It could be something I've been asking for. It could be something that's going to be fun for me, or something that's going to create more in my life. And it's showing up in a way that I didn't expect it. Well, I ended up getting this cookbook, and I actually read the front of it. It was really fascinating to read the Earl's history, like of the family. So it was a father and 4 sons. So a father and one of the sons was sort of the main, and then all other 3 sons either worked there or did work there. And one actually went off to form, I think it's Joey's. And yeah, it was really interesting to, read their history and their love for food and what their targets were within creating their restaurants and what they'd hoped for or do hope for within their restaurants and staffing and food, and how they were trailbreakers in the whole appetizer idea. Like, did you know that? I didn't know that. Like, I mean, I've been around on this planet for 53 years, got a bit of experience. And I do remember the time when, like, before you used to go to a restaurant and you'd only go to a restaurant just for breakfast, supper, lunch. Um, Breakfast, lunch, supper. You guys get what I mean. I'm not always going to be correct on this show. I'm doing the best I can, but I can't say that perfection will be one of my things. So you got to bear with me. And so, anyways, they were one of the first restaurants that brought out the idea of someone going, say, after work and just having an appetizer and a drink. And I thought that was really cool. They were also one of the first restaurants in Canada. They actually started in Alberta, and where they brought in an Asian flavor within a recipe or a dish that they served. And then, of course, people started to, copy that because it was something that actually went over really well. And I just found it really, really interesting. Anyways, I found this triple mousse cake and I'm not 100% sure if I'm calling the recipe right, but it's got like a chocolate fudge layer on the bottom. Then the middle layer is a chocolate mousse, and like a brown chocolate. What do you want to call it? Milk chocolate mousse, semi-sweet chocolate mousse, and then the top layer is a white chocolate mousse, and it is amazing. It took quite a bit of time, but it was actually really fun. And what's really neat is in the bottom fudge layer, there's actually coffee, only a teaspoon of instant. And oh, seriously, people, my mouth is watering as I'm thinking about it right now. So I'm actually going to be making that cake tomorrow because I'm serving it on our Sunday Christmas. So technically, when you're listening to this, it will already be made and it will already be eaten. So how awesome is that? And it's served with whipping cream and, like either fresh fruit, or I just use frozen berries and thaw them. And so, yeah, that was really fun. And another recipe that I'm just going to sort of shout out to today, it was my first experience making. Now, if you guys have ever heard of, almond roca, well, you can take actually saltine crackers, lay them in a pan, you boil butter and brown sugar, you pour it over top once it's boiled. And then you throw on chocolate chips and you smush them in, you melt them, and then you throw almonds on top, and it tastes so fantastic. So today I was having fun trying to take it off the tin foil. So I had to do an SOS call to my sister-in-law who gave me the recipe to, how do I get this off easily? And I discovered that I'd let it warm it up just a little bit too much. So you need to like have it in the freezer or have it cold. And then when you break it, it stays together. But it was really good anyways. So yeah, you guys, if you've got a shout out to your favorite recipe or a family recipe or a family tradition recipe or something from a country of your family of origin, I'm in. I'm interested in trying new things. I would even try them and give feedback if you guys are, interested and find that fun. So yeah, but like as my time for today comes to a close, if you're listening to this on Christmas Day, I really wish you a beautiful day, however you're spending it and whoever you're spending it with. And if you're listening to this on another day, you know what? I wish you the same damn thing. So yeah, I wish you a life full of tasty treats and a life that's nourishing to you, that's delicious to you, that's fun. Yeah, I wish that for you always. And so, signing off for today. Again, this is Laurie Larson with the Wealthy LaLa Show. And if this is your first time listening, LaLa is my grandma name, and I am a wealthy LaLa. So my life is wealthy. That's what I aspire to create it as, even more. And yeah, so always, look in your life. I invite you to look at what wealth is for you. And if you guys are interested, I have more information about the services that I offer. If you want more of me, people, on www.Laurie, Laurie, Larson, LAURSEN.com. And I am on Facebook. All right. I'm on Twitter. I will be on Instagram with the Wealthy LaLa. And I'm on LinkedIn. I can't say I cover all of them really well, but you can find me there and message me. I'd love to hear from you. So you guys have an amazing day and take care.